If Pyros and Crips all got along, they probably got me down by the end of the song. Seem like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the street, I hear drop, drop, drop.
Okay. We all in. We all in. I'm going all in. I'm going out on a limb. And I'm gonna put my money where my fucking mouth is, because I'm drafting this dude in every fantasy league I have, bro. Anytime I see this man on the board, I will fucking draft this dude in all my fantasy leagues. I'll probably draft him in all my fantasy leagues. I'll probably draft Cortland Sutton on all my fantasy leagues. And once you get past that, then everything else is up in the air. Because I was gonna draft Darren Waller, but I heard that he might get traded. So I don't know what's going on with him. And then Deebo Samuel, obviously we all know he wants to get traded. So I don't know how that's going to affect his fantasy value. But this video is not about them. This video is about Garrett Wilson. And here's the thing. Garrett Wilson is not will be, not might be, is not arguably, is the best wide receiver from this draft class. And I'm saying that, and when I'm saying the best wide receiver from the draft class, I mean, I can't project what's going to happen 10 years down the road, because my opinion on who's going to be the best wide receiver in this draft class 10 years down the road is a lot different than who I see is going to be the best wide receiver in this draft class. You know what I mean? Just initially. I think out of all the rookies, let's just say out of all the rookies, I don't know how this is going to go long term, but I think Garrett Wilson will have the best rookie season. You know what I mean? I think first 5 years in the NFL, I think at least first 5 years in the NFL, Garrett Wilson will be the best receiver in this draft class. But, if we're going 10, 20 years down the line, I can't really project that shit. But I mean, the title of this video is best wide receiver in the draft, and I'm saying immediately coming out of the gate, he will be the best wide receiver from this draft class. Let's think about this. So, people say Drake London, but the problem with Drake London is he has separation issues. He has separation issues, and the problem is, he's in an offense where their only other target is Kyle Pitts. So the Falcons would be a horrible fit for him, because he has problems getting separation in college. But what's going to happen to him in the NFL when he gets double or triple covered? Because the Falcons don't have that many weapons. So I think Garrett Wilson should go to a team like the Patriots, or not Garrett. I think Drake London should go to a team like the Patriots, who spread the ball out more, so you can't focus on one guy. So that's where he should probably go. You know what I mean? Because I think he would do well in the Patriots, because the Patriots, they have specialists. They have Aguilar as their deep threat. They have Kendrick Bourne as their slot guy. They have Devontae Parker as that contested catch guy. And then they can also add Drake London in the mix. So that, Devontae Parker is kind of shaky himself, so maybe he could take Devontae Parker's spot. Who knows? Or maybe he could take, because I know Kendrick Bourne's spot on the team is safe. We all know Kendrick Bourne is their number one receiver for right now. But you want to have a long-term answer, because Kendrick Bourne, I think he'll be good for another 2-3 years. But you want to have a long-term wide receiver one for this guy. You know what I mean? You got Burrow and Chase. You got Waddle and Tua. You got Hurts and Devontae. You know what I mean? You want to have a long-term up. You know what I mean? You got, I guess, for right now, you could say Russ and Judy. You know what I mean? You want to have a long-term option. So, I guess you could say Kirk and Jefferson. But I don't know how long Kirk is going to be on the team, though. That's the problem. But, yeah, but I think the thing about Garrett Wilson, and then, first you got him. Then you got Chris Olave. Then you got to look at guys like Chris Olave, Jameson Williams. Those two are great speedsters. I think those two are great deep threats. But I don't think they could make the contested catch. I don't think they have the jumping and contested catch ability of Garrett Wilson. So let's go through this list. So Olave and Williams are pretty good route runners. pretty good speedsters, but they don't have the contested catch jumping ability of Garrett Wilson. And you have Drake London, who has the contested catch and jumping ability of Garrett Wilson, but doesn't have the speed or separation. You know what I mean? And then when we get... So, yeah. And, like, those are the best... And then I guess when it comes to Traylon Burks, like, you could make a case he has an all-around arsenal, but I just don't think Traylon Burks is on the same level as Garrett Wilson. I think he has the second best all-around ability. I think Traylon Burks has all the skills similar to Garrett Wilson. I just don't think he's on Garrett Wilson's level. You know, there's levels to this shit. It's like, for example, if you wanted to put Garrett Wilson as Odell, you would put Traylon Burks as Jarvis Landry. Now, I don't have that as my comparisons for the two. I think my comparison for Traylon Burks is like Cortland Sutton. I think Traylon Burks is Cortland Sutton. I said Garrett Wilson is like Giants OBJ, because OBJ still has some explosive plays here and there, but it's not like Giants level. So you know the title of the video is Garrett Wilson next OBJ, because if you look at this dude's highlights, bro, like, oh my fucking god, this dude can burn people in, you know what I mean, double, triple coverage. He could burn people down the field. He could route you up. You know what I mean? He could jump over you. Unlike Drake London, he has no problem getting separation. And he can also burn you down the field like Chris Olave, but he can also jump up and get it, unlike Chris Olave. You know, the problem with Chris Olave is he can burn people down the field like Tyreek Hill, but he's like 6 feet plus. He's like 6 feet, 6'1", but he doesn't use that to his ability. He just burns people down the field. You know what I mean? So he's not using his full ability. But Garrett Wilson, he is using that. I don't know how tall is Garrett Wilson? Like 6'2", 6'3"? Like, he's using that frame. Now, think about it this way. Imagine Odell when he was on the Giants. Remember Odell, how dominant he was on the Giants? And let's add 5 inches to that shit. That's Garrett Wilson, bro. Imagine Odell with 5 more inches on him. That's fucking Garrett Wilson. So you gotta draft this dude. I always thought the Malik Willis to the Falcons thing, or the Kenny Pickett to the Falcons thing, or any quarterback to the Falcons thing is stupid, because, number one, even if you get a quarterback, who the fuck is he gonna throw to, bro? Remember last season when Russell Gage was their only other receiver other than Kyle Pitts? And then Kyle Pitts was basically a non-factor because this man was getting double and triple teamed. You know what I mean? Because Calvin Ridley had, like, quote-unquote mental issues. You know, his ass was like pulling a Ben Simmons on us. You know what I mean? So now, like, whatever quarterback you're gonna put in, like, he's not gonna have anyone to throw to because Kyle Pitts is gonna get triple covered, and who else is he gonna throw to? Like Olamide Zacchaeus. You know what I mean? Auden Tate. Like, come on, man. You gotta get whatever quarterback, either Marcus Mariota or whatever quarterback you get, you have to get them a fucking weapon. So, okay, here's the thing. If you don't get, and you need to get a weapon early, because you have no receiver. See, here's the thing. If you had just re-signed Russell Gage, I would say that you could safely take a receiver in, like, the 2nd or 3rd round, because I believe Russell Gage can be a strong number 2 receiver. But because you let Russell Gage walk, you literally have no proven receivers on your roster that could get open, that could do a whole bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, Cordell Patterson is literally Alvin Kamara, bro. It's like, for example, remember the Saints offense for years and years when all they had was Michael Thomas? And they had, like, Alvin Kamara. But Alvin Kamara, he's supposed to be a running back that can occasionally catch the ball. You're not going to just line this dude up at wide receiver. You know, obviously he can catch passes here and there, but he's not going to route people up. You know what I mean? That's just not what he is. Like, he's going to catch some balls out of the backfield. But, you know what I mean? He's not going to just route people up like that. You know what I mean? So you got to draft a receiver with that pick. With that number 8 pick, you need to draft a receiver. Because you have no proven receivers. Like I said, had y'all just re-signed Russell Gage, I would think differently. I would say you could draft receiver in the 2nd, 3rd round. But because you have no proven receivers, you need to get a receiver. And Garrett Wilson is the whole package, man. I really do think, you know what I mean? If Garrett Wilson flops in the NFL, y'all could clown me however much you want. I will take it. But I'm going out on a limb and saying Garrett Wilson will be the best receiver in this year's draft class, at least for the first 5 years of his career. I don't know what's going to happen past that, you know, because the Falcons are a pretty dumpster fire organization. But here's the thing. I would say at least give Marcus Mariota a chance, because you gave him a 2-year deal. Number one, you gave him a 2-year deal. Number two, there's no, you know what I mean, there's no receivers on this roster, because Kyle Pitts is a tight end. You know, so there's no proven receivers on this roster. You know what I mean? And, like, the draft class is better next year, too. So, you get a receiver, you see how he does with Marcus Mariota, you see if the Falcons can be at least respectable next season. I think if the Falcons can, like, make a wild card run, like, because here's the thing, the Falcons went, like, 7-9 last season. So it's not like they were complete trash. You know what I mean? The Falcons were actually in the mix for a wild card spot up until like the last 2 weeks of the season. You know, if we're being honest, I feel like if it was the Falcons instead of the Eagles for that 7th spot, if it was the fucking Falcons, I would have gave them a much better chance, man. I'm not gonna lie. I would have probably given the Falcons a much better chance because okay, I think the Falcons would have played the Buccaneers. They would have played the Buccaneers, but at the same time, you know what I mean? This dude, Matt Ryan, did have a 17-point lead on Tom Brady. Remember, like, the year before when he was, like, winning by, like, 17 points? But now you get him Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts. You know what I mean? They could have made a run. And also, wasn't that the game that Leonard Fournette was out and, like, all these other guys were also out? You know what I mean? And Chris Godwin was out. So the Falcons low-key could have made a run last season if they just caught a couple breaks or two, or if Calvin Ridley decided not to pull a Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? So the Falcons are actually not that far off as a team, man. I really do believe if Marcus Mariota doesn't suck, if he can at least be as good as Matt Ryan is, because Matt Ryan still got some shit left in the tank. If he can at least, if Marcus Mariota can at least equal what Matt Ryan does, I think they could make the playoffs. Because here's the thing, Matt Ryan is a statue. Marcus Mariota can move around. You know what I mean? The one thing his throwing ability. You know what I mean? There's some people who have questions about that, but the one thing that you gotta say about Marcus Mariota, is that motherfucker can move. That motherfucker got wheels. So, like I said, if they have the same, if he performs as well as Matt Ryan, plus the fact that he has legs unlike Matt Ryan, you know, the Falcons can do something, man. So go ahead, get Garrett Wilson, try to get a wild card spot. You know what I mean? Get this shit on the road. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like, I'm not gonna say Eli Manning and OBJ because Eli was already old at that time. If Matt Ryan was still around, then I could say Eli Manning and OBJ. But you know what I mean? You just got a young QB. The comparison I would make for this is Marcus Mariota and Corey Davis. You know what I mean? They drafted Marcus Mariota, then a couple years later they drafted Corey Davis. They're like, okay, you know what I mean? They're like, okay, we got our franchise QB, let's get a franchise receiver. Now, Corey Davis was like kind of he was kind of a letdown on the Titans, but at the same time, he was a pretty damn good receiver. He just wasn't like a top 10 pick type receiver, but you know what I mean? He damn near broke 1,000 yards, like I think 1 or 2 times in his career. So like he was a pretty damn good receiver, you know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, Garrett Wilson, best wide receiver in this year's draft class. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm drafting this motherfucker in all my fantasy leagues, every single one of them, if he's available. Like, because obviously some people might snatch up and take one of them motherfuckers, but if he's available, I do believe he will be the best wide receiver in this draft class. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.